So I'm going to start with Destiny. And your question is, in your view, what do both the pro-choice and mainstream pro-life, by which I mean right-wing Christian conservatives, sorry I can't speak tonight, movements get wrong about treating abortion-minded or post-abortive women?
I get to make enemies. All right. So I want to begin by saying there's a lot of people hating on pregnancy resource clinics right now. And I agree with some of the criticisms, honestly, because not all pregnancy resource clinics are created equally. Many of them kind of do the bare minimum. Many of them are great resources. You can go there and you can get diapers and wipies and, peer support, mentorship, things like that. That's great. That's not a healthcare clinic. I am an uninsured woman in Texas. So when it comes to me getting a cervical exam, a breast exam, actually comprehensive healthcare, I can't go to a pregnancy resource center for that. And this is where I kind of have an issue with Planned Parenthood having somewhat of a monopoly, in Texas especially. At one point, before we instituted Healthy Texas Women, I would have to drive past 3 Planned Parenthoods to get to my closest federally qualified health center. And that was Parkland Hospital. I was familiar with Parkland because when I was 18 years old, my best friend's brother's appendix exploded, and we had to get him to the hospital because he couldn't die because he was the guy who bought us beer. So it was really, really, really important that we keep him alive. And so we drive him to Parkland, and I remember sitting down, and there was a guy with a pencil in his eye socket. He was not in a room. There was not a curtain. He was sitting there. So if you tell me I have to go there for my pap smear next to eyeball pencil guy, I'm sorry, but you're doing women a disservice. That's not okay, right? So Texas did a really cool thing. It was under Governor Perry, and he was very pro-life, and he decided that we would not take any federal Medicaid money to support Planned Parenthood. And, what is the saying? That necessity is the mother of invention. So what ended up happening was we had to come up with another program. Healthy Texas Women was born from that. Basically, it is just like Medicaid. When you're pregnant in Texas, you get on Medicaid. You can see any provider. They can take Medicaid. When you're not pregnant, though, it's really hard to access that same health care. And so the message we were sending women is, when you're with child, we care about you, but when you're on your own, we don't care about your health. That's kind of BS. We want to care about the woman and the child, right? So Healthy Texas Women has stepped up, and they're trying to do that. But unfortunately, there's just such a backlog that it's really, really difficult to get in. I mean, you're waiting months to get in for an exam and appointments. And so when I hear the pro-life side say, oh, we don't need Planned Parenthood because we've got pregnancy centers, it's like saying we don't need apples because we have bananas over here. What? We're talking about different things. And it's not to crap on pregnancy centers at all because they're doing wonderful work. The coolest thing is seeing the ones that are stepping up and doing STD screenings and actual exams. And so we're trying to create this seal of approval through, what is it called? The Pro Women's Health Consortium is basically creating the seal of approval to get these pregnancy centers up to medical standards so that they are actually competing with Planned Parenthood because, I'm going to be honest, I know the Planned Parenthood fan club's up there. Sorry, you guys. Planned Parenthood just not the best care. They just kind of have a monopoly on it. But they kind of tend to move you through like cattle. If anybody's ever been there, it's not necessarily the best care. And I think the best care comes through competition. And so when we have different places offering women competitions, they're going to have to step up their game when it comes to caring for women. Until that happens, hearing the pro-life side just say, defund Planned Parenthood, well, then what? Women still need health care. We still need help. So I think this is a great place for the pro-life movement to step up and get our facilities, our pregnancy centers. We already have the brick and mortar. So let's do more than just sonograms. Let's actually get OBs in there who can offer women health care because I think we live in a very #blessed nation where a lot of people have insurance, but I think that there's also a ton of people who don't have insurance. And I can tell you it's really scary being a woman who's uninsured and not knowing where you can go for health care. And you can go to a local health clinic if you have a cold or something like that. But when it comes to your lady kit, we don't have a whole lot of options, you guys. So I think that's a place where the pro-life movement could do a little bit better. We see them. We throw a lot of money behind politicians who talk about stuff give us some of that politician money. Put that towards healthcare instead. You're going to win over more votes that way, probably.